I went over 5 months without drinking alcohol, and I wanted to share a little bit about why I did that and how I went from the girl who drank excessively and all the time to someone who decided that she wasn't a drinker anymore, to someone who healed and who changed her whole perspective on alcohol, who doesn't crave alcohol whatsoever, doesn't want alcohol whatsoever, and maybe won't drink alcohol ever again. I can't tell you. I just know that as of now, I don't have the desire, and I thought that maybe sharing some of my story as well as some of the steps I used to be able to get to this point, maybe it could help you if you're struggling, or if you want to make the transition, or if you want to change your relationship with alcohol. Part of my story, you know, going from teenager to adult is, well, it involved alcohol. It all involved alcohol. I started drinking when I was 13 years old, or maybe 13 or 14 years old. I grew up in a family that drank. Not that they were like, oh, go ahead and drink at 13, but I saw them drinking and I was curious, like, what is alcohol? Like, I want to know what it tastes like. I want to see why people dance and they're laughing and having fun at all the functions. And that's what I did. I basically snuck alcohol around age 13 or 14. It's funny enough because when I was growing up, my mom didn't drink alcohol. So it wasn't really my mom. It was just seeing people in my family as a whole drinking. So that's how I kind of got that idea to want to sneak it and figure out what it was all about. I did the same thing actually with cigarettes too. Like, my grandma smoked cigarettes. So I was like, what's the big deal with cigarettes? Hated cigarettes. But alcohol, that's something I could get with at the time. I was like, okay, I like this. I learned then that I didn't like the gins and the clear beverages. I found out then that I liked the darker liquors and tequilas and beer and certain types of beer. I found all that out at an early age. I remember I would get my alcohol actually most of the time from asking people to buy me alcohol, whether it was, you know, a younger person who had some plug or something, or an older adult who, you know, saw a young girl who was nice and I smile a lot and they were like, oh, she's cool. I don't think she's going to do anything irresponsible. And they would get it for me. I believe in the beginning, like I said, it was just curiosity. I just wanted to know what it felt like to be under this influence of alcohol. I had no idea that it would lead to a lot of bad things in my life and some good things in my life at the time. I had no idea. Then alcohol turned into the thing I did because I wanted to feel good. It was a thing I did because I wanted to escape life. It was a thing that I did so I could run away from the pains that I was feeling, because I had a father that left me and I felt abandoned, even though my mom was always there. But having a father leave, it just made me feel a certain way, because I would say as a young girl, I was always a daddy's girl. I was always like a grandpa's girl. I was always leaning towards the male figure, and to have the male figure that I wanted so bad gone from my life, it left me raw. Like, I didn't have feelings. Like, I was numb to the world. And it's so interesting, like, now, because I've healed from that, and just seeing how affected I was by that, but how now I could see my father in a whole different light, that he was just a hurt little boy and doing the best he had with the tools that he had. And I'm not mad at him for that at all. But at that time, I was mad. I was angry. I was confused. I was hurt. And I started to use the bottle as the means to heal, because the bottle doesn't heal, y'all. That's the highlight of this video. The bottle does not heal you, and it did not heal me. It led me to do things that I never would have done if I wasn't drinking. I was in situations that I never would have been in. I was hurt by people I would never have been hurt by if I never would have drank. Because if I wasn't drinking, I would have been coherent. I'd be able to get out of situations and places that I needed to. I would be more aware. In most cases, I was aware as I got older, but in the beginning, my mind was still developing. So I got into bad situations, and I also put other people in bad situations because I was drinking. I also used alcohol kind of to be seen, because at the time I didn't want to be seen. I went from the person who loved or thought that she was going to be something big and bad when I was a kid to the person who didn't want people to see her. But when I drank, I was cool with that. I didn't care if you saw me. I didn't care if you talked to me. I would talk to every single person when I was drinking. I was already friendly, same personality I think I have now, that I've come to heal and to expose more, or to release more my personality. But I became that version I think that I wanted so bad to be when I would drink, even though I was already her, but I didn't know that because I was too busy, or not too busy. My body was in a state of depression, of sadness and things like that. So I didn't see the version of myself that I was. I was just seeing what I perceived, I guess, perceived myself to be, which was down, depressed, sad, lonely, unlovable, unworthy, and all that stuff. And so alcohol helped me to be seen. It helped me to be heard. It helped me to dance, because I used to love to dance, but I wouldn't dance because I was scared to be seen. So I would dance, when I was drinking. I would do things, like I said, that I wouldn't normally do. Just liquid courage, as a lot of us know alcohol to be. I drank when people died. I drank when I was crying. I drank when I was happy. I drank when I was sad. I drank all the time. It wasn't even, to me, I wouldn't even call it an addiction, because I could stop if I wanted, but I just chose not to. There was times when I would go weeks without drinking, but then I'll come right back to the bottle, because why? What did life have to offer me? That was kind of my mode. Like, what's the point? I'm probably not going to make it to 18 anyways. I'm probably going to drink and end up killing myself anyways. I'm probably going to end up in some weird situation where I'm going to die anyways. That was kind of my thought process. I didn't care. And I would use the very gifts God gave me to light up the world to tear people down. And I don't mean literally tear them down. I wasn't trying to tear them down purposely, but I would encourage them. Oh, girl, it's okay. You can go drink. Like, let's go drink. Or when they're going through things. Oh, girl, just take a shot. You'll be good. Oh, just go drink that away. It's not a problem. You don't even have to cry it out. Just drink it, or drink and then cry it out. Or matter of fact, we'll roll around in the street crying and drinking, and it'll all be good. Encouraging people to take another shot when they didn't really want to. I use the very gifts, and I'm telling you this because it's so insane, the very gifts God gave me to build people up, to tear them down without knowing it. Because I thought that it was a good thing. Like, girl, I'm numb. I'm numb from this drink. You could be numb too. It's all good. It's all good. But it wasn't all good. That I was using alcohol to mask, to hide the bruises, to hide the hurts, to hide the pains. And then as I got older, it wasn't always about that. Alcohol could have been to calm, to relax. And I'll talk more about that later on in this video, but I was just using it for all the wrong reasons. And I think if people saw it for what it is, I don't think people would abuse it the way they do, or use it the way they do. And I just hope that message gets across, that if you're using it for the wrong reasons, don't. Because people like me, and I know so many people like me, where they used it to numb, they use it to escape. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good. I could just think about all the instances all the different things I've been involved in because I was drinking that I would not have been involved in if I wasn't drinking, and how people treated me or left me or abused me in those situations because I wasn't coherent. I wasn't fully there. I remember just drinking when people died, just always drinking no matter what, whether it was good or bad, just always drinking. And I say all that to say just how blessed I am that I never did become addicted to this substance that people say heals, but really it doesn't. It tears so many people down. And I'm not putting any judgment on people who drink, not at all. I'm just saying that we've been told certain things about it that don't align with what it actually is. And we're not going into all the science of alcohol. We're not doing all that in this video. You could do your own research, but it's just interesting how I came to this point of where the very thing that I thought was propelling me forward, that was helping me, was really just a crutch, was really just holding me back from being the healthy version of myself that I wanted to be the girl that now is a woman, a lady, in her good years, her great years, just her blessed years. And it's just so crazy how that all played out for me in this journey. And I would never take it back because it's part of my story. And I have so many stories to tell that unfortunately or fortunately revolved around alcohol. And like I said, if alcohol wasn't present, maybe they wouldn't have happened. And there are good things and there are bad things in the midst of that. And those are stories to tell at another time, another place, when they're necessary to heal or to teach. All I know is I just want to live this life fully and completely without any extras, with any glamours, with any substances, I don't need all that. I want to be able to see my life sober, fully and completely, in a loving way, being present in the now, consciously aware, and alcohol takes that away. You're probably asking, why did I stop? The truth is, I wanted a better immune system. I wanted better gut health. I wanted better quality sleep. I wanted a regulated nervous system. I wanted to be less dehydrated. I wanted to have more hydration in my body, more life, more vibrancy. I wanted to remember experiences, not just have to watch them through video or other people's memories. I wanted to just be present in the moment, consciously aware of things, like really experiencing things. Alcohol, it didn't give me all those things. Another thing is, like, alcohol makes a lot of people, and it makes me more anxious. It would actually make my anxiety worse. Like, my anxiety would be through the roof when I was drinking. So That's another thing I really don't miss about drinking, is the fact that it would make me get more anxious. I don't want anything affecting, like I said, my nervous system. I don't want to feel sluggish. I want to show up for myself and other people with 100% or more. Like, I don't want to have to only give, half of my tank because I drank last night and I was out really late. I'm cool with where I'm at right now in my journey, and I know it's just going to keep getting better. And I just hope that you're cool with where you're at in your journey. And if you're not, I hope that you decide to make some type of change so that you can get to where you want to go. That is the major reason why I stopped drinking. It was being present and being healthy. Here's some tools that could help you to limit or stop drinking alcohol. I do want to say that this is not medical advice. Like, if you feel like you need a professional, someone to talk to, someone for accountability, please do that. Make sure you take care of yourself. Don't just take what I'm saying and like run with it. But this is what I used, and I think a lot of people can use if they want to limit their intake of alcohol. The power is in your hands. It's not in anybody else's hands. First and second thing, I've kind of made number one and number two into one, and that is be willing. Be willing to stop. Be willing to do those things and believe that you can. I think being willing to and believing that you can is so important in this journey. If you don't believe that you can, you're more than likely not going to. You could take all the encouragement, you could take the medicine or the pills, or go to the therapist, or go to AA. You could do all those things, but if you don't believe it, that you can do it, that's the first part. Believing and being willing to change. I'll use an example. My grandma, she smoked cigarettes since she was 16 years old, and around age, I don't remember exactly what age it was, but it was in her early 70s, and she's in her 80s now. She decided she wasn't going to smoke anymore. She just one day just stopped. And I remember I was so happy when I found out, because I found out later. She told us, after she had quit, she had quit for a while at that point, and she told us, and I remember like crying. She had went from age 16 to over 70 smoking cigarettes, and one day just decided not to smoke anymore. And that's the decision like we have to make. You have to decide to believe in yourself, decide to be willing, and that could happen for you. The same thing happened for my grandpa. My grandpa quit smoking before I was even born. I didn't even know he smoked until he told me the story, many years ago. But he just quit smoking cold turkey, decided one day, I believe I could stop. I'm willing to stop. I don't want it anymore. And so he did. The next thing would be finding out why you want to stop. And I talk about this a lot to people, not about how, but why. Why do you want to stop? I told you why I stopped: for health, for wellness, because I wanted to be better, because I wanted more energy. For you, I don't know what that looks like. It could be a money thing for you. It could be, I'm tired of spending money on alcohol. It could be health reasons. It could be for your family. It could be for yourself, which I hope it really is, because for yourself, I think yourself is the most important reason why. For you, you decide. I think that you don't want it to be because I have to. I think that's the thing. You don't want the why to be because you have to, because you got to this point in life where if you don't stop, something's going to happen to you, something bad's going to happen to you. I don't think you want to get to that point, but if you do, I hope that also triggers you to change if that's what you decide to do. Because if you have to, it doesn't necessarily inspire you to change. I mean, there's so many people who get to that point where they have to stop or something's going to happen to them, but they still do it anyway. I think, why not get to the point where you do it before it gets to that point, or you limit it before it gets to that point? Think about why you want to stop, why you may want to limit, why you may want to reduce, and, really simmer on that. Maybe you could journal about that, or do a audio journal or video journal and kind of just flow with it and see where you go with that, or maybe a meditation, whatever works best for you. And that could be helpful when it comes to figuring out your why. The next is change your environment. I actually made a video about this. Like, that was one of my first videos on YouTube last year, is change your environment. I believe that would be one of the most important things, is changing your environment. If you know that having alcohol in your house is preventing you from stopping, or it's not allowing you to limit yourself because you know yourself, then maybe you do need to remove the alcohol. If you know that when you go to a specific place, that it triggers that desire to do things, maybe you need to avoid that place. That could be a club, it could be a bar, it could be a casino, it could be someone's house, it could be spending time with certain friends, because we've built some relationships on drinking. Like, there's friends that I had in the past where our whole relationship was based on drinking. So if we took away the drinking, there was nothing else, right? If we take away the, substances, there's no other relationship. And so examine your environments of where you are, and if you need to remove something or to set boundaries. And then there are your friends that are your friends regardless, and you don't just drink with them, you drink with them sometimes, but you also do other things with. And so letting them know, communicating like, hey, I'm doing this thing, can you please, respect that? Can we not drink when we go out? Or can you not ask me to serve me alcohol? You could have a conversation with people depending on what your level of tolerance is, and your real friends are going to do the best they can to not do that. Your real friends aren't going to be like teenage me, where I was encouraging people or peer pressuring people to do the drinking or to do the things that I was doing, because I didn't care what happened to me, and obviously didn't respect my friends at that time either. Because how can you respect yourself, or how can you respect others if you don't respect your own self? At this age, as an adult, I would not tolerate a friend doing that, not respecting my boundary when I'm trying to heal. That's something that you could figure out for yourself. The truth is, you may have to avoid certain parties, certain family functions for a time. It's just the truth. Some people, they have to do that, because if they don't, they go right back into the cycle. And whatever it is for you, just make sure you do that, and do it without any type of conviction. Be sure of your decision and do that, and understand that the right people, they're going to be right there with you. They're going to rock with you. They're going to respect you. The wrong ones, they're not. They're going to laugh, or they're going to make fun of you, or they're going to disrespect your boundary or your decision. And that's what you have to take note of and decide if you want that in your life. This next part goes hand in hand with changing your environment, and that is taking inventory, like make a game plan. Take inventory of the people you hang around and the places, and figure out, do you need a different game plan? Is it that you're still going to go drive the way you drive past the liquor store that you used to pass by all the time? Are you going to still do that? Are you able to do that without going in there? Is it a habit? Is it a normal thing that every Friday or every Tuesday you pick up this specific drink from this place, or you go to this place? What is that thing? And you figure out, does it make sense to drive that way, or do I need to go a different route so I avoid that place? It depends on your level of tolerance, your level of discipline, and your craving, really, and what that level is. And you only know that for yourself, and you have to decide that for yourself. For you, it may be you can't go to a certain restaurant, like, because all the bartenders there are going to be like, no, it's all good, Josie, like, drink that drink. I got the drink already ready for you. And you're going to feel bad if you don't take the drink. Make a game plan of what you're going to do, what you're going to avoid, what boundaries you're going to set. Journal it, have a conversation. You might have to have conversations with your, significant other or family members, like I was saying before. Do you already know that you drink more when you're down low, like when you're feeling bad, or when you're having financial strain, or when you're stressed from work? If you know those things, making a game plan to what you're going to do, what you're going to replace that activity of drinking with something else. So after work, sometimes you get stressed out and you pour yourself some wine. Maybe you don't want to drink wine anymore. Maybe you drink multiple glasses normally. Maybe going forward, you're only going to drink one. Or maybe you're the person like me who just, like I said, stopped. So you decided, I'm not going to drink anything, so I'm going to replace that drink with some tea, or I'm going to replace that wine glass with going in the bath and reading my favorite book, or listening to my favorite audiobook, or meditating in the bath, or just being present in the bath and relaxing and recharging. Maybe you use the money that you've been spending to get alcohol, and you use it to get massages every month, or whenever you need it when you're stressed out from work. Taking that activity, those things that triggered you to drink, or the times you habitually drank, and you switch that activity, change the activity, replace it with a different activity. It could be going for a walk. It could be you take different herbs to help, like when you're anxious, or before like a meeting, or before you have to do something, instead of drinking, because drinking can trigger anxiety. Maybe when like you're anxious, you normally drink something when you're anxious for the liquid courage. Maybe you do more research on herbs and you use different herbs to be able to take tincture blends or teas or different things to be able to get you in the right space. Do you drink more when you're around other people, certain people? That's another thing to notice, because you might be doing it for other reasons than you realize. You might be doing it to relieve stress or anxiety. Like maybe you go around family members and you drink more because you don't want to be there. But paying attention to that, acknowledging that, and figuring out, what can I do to switch that? Maybe it is you need to go see a therapist, or you need a book or a coach to be able to help you process through emotions, unresolved issues from unresolved wounds that have surfaced or resurfaced in adulthood from childhood. whatever those things may be, it's finding out what it is that you need to replace and replacing it with something else that's going to heal you, that's going to push you forward to be the version of yourself that you want to be. I think this is a really big one. I think this requires practice. It takes time. It's not something that just happens overnight. You're going to mess up. You might even go backwards and end up still going to the same, bar that you used to go to, and then you're struggling not to drink, or you end up drinking, and that's okay. I'm not here to tell you that just because you slip up that you failed. You didn't fail. I think every day that you get better, every moment you get better, every instance that you're able to decline, deny, or acknowledge something, I think that's still a blessing in itself, because you're improving, you're growing, you're getting better. So don't beat yourself up when it comes to those things. I truly believe that the more you're able to sit with your thoughts, your hurt, the things that you're going through, the less harder it will be to release, to move on from drinking, if that is the reason why you started drinking in the first place, and the reason why you still drink today. And I think that requires you to do some hard mental work and looking at yourself, like, who do I want to be? What have I been? And who am I now? And how do I have to show up in the world for myself, and all those things. It's just, the hardest part, I think, of life is being present in the now. It's always what are we doing going forward? What were we doing in the past? And so I think the more we're able to sit with ourselves and acknowledge where we are at mentally, physically in this world, I think the less difficult it will become when you want to leave, when you want to stop. Because when you know your worth, you know why you're doing those things, and you're changing your environment, and you're making these steps to go forward, your whole body is going to do the work to be able to figure out how to get out of that. It wants to know how to heal, how to be better. And there are going to be some parts of your body that are going to restrict you or prevent you from changing, because your body's gotten you this far. It's like, we've done this way this whole time. Why do you want to change? Why do you want to stop picking up the bottle? Why do you want to stop doing that? But you are in control. Like, you are the one. You are the decision maker. Excuse me. You are in control. You are the one. You are the decision maker. And realizing that if you want to be a different version of yourself, you can be that. And your body's just been doing the best it could with what it had. Your body's just been doing the best to protect you and to love you and to be there for you. Not to be mad at it when it craves things that you don't want to crave anymore, but just being able to sit there and just love on your body anyways, and just thank you for being there. Thank you for surviving. Thank you for allowing me to survive. Thank you for getting me through the things that you've gotten me through. Because there's probably some of you who've watched this who have been in crazy situations while drinking alcohol, who may have even been in trouble with the law with doing it, or have done hurtful things to others or yourself. But that's not who you are. Just because you've done something in the past does not mean that the person you are today is the same person that you were then. And you can decide right now, today, like, I want to move forward. I want to be better. And I believe you can. And you just have to believe you can 1000%. And even if it's just 1% every day, 1% better, that's better than not doing anything, not giving anything, not changing anything, not healing anything. And last, before I close out, I would just say this, that I love the idea of people going to, AA and different things. I love and agree with the fact that you need to acknowledge what you are, who you are, and all those things. And I've never been there, so I don't know all the information, all the details on that. I just know what I've seen and what I've heard, and that I think it's good to acknowledge. I am blank and I am an alcoholic. I am blank and I am an addict. I think it's great to acknowledge that. But what I don't think is great is constantly saying that to yourself every single day. Because yes, the version of yourself, maybe yesterday you were an alcoholic. Maybe you were an addict. But if you continue to say that, you're just telling your body that's what you are. And so I think today you need to start saying, my name is blank. My name is Alana, and I'm deciding to have a better life. My name is Alana, and I'm deciding to be a better version of myself. My name is Alana, and I decided to give up the bottle yesterday. My name is Alana, and I am in control of my impulses. I am in control of my cravings. My name is Alana, and everything I'm doing going forward is for the better version of myself, and I refuse to say and call myself an addict, because I am not. I no longer am an addict. I am no longer addicted. I choose to be better. It's going to contradict everything that you know in your body. Your body is going to be like, what, Alana? You're not a what? Honey, you've been doing this for this many years. Does that not mean that you're an alcoholic? It's going to do that. But I'm telling you, the repetition, the believing, the belief, the visualization, telling yourself that you can, you will, you must, it is going to change. I am different. Your body, your mind will do everything in its power to make that a reality. You will no longer be the version of yourself, that version of yourself. you will be a different version. You will be the one that you want to be, the person who does not crave alcohol anymore, who does not need it. Understand that today is just the base. Like, today just starts, and you might fall, you might fail, you might go backwards. That is okay. But believing and speaking life into you every single day, because you are not your addiction. You are not the bottle. You are you, and you can decide who you want to be going forward right now, not tomorrow, not 10 years from now, but who do you want to be right now, today? Today is all that matters. Congrats to all of you who are going to make that commitment going forward. I will be praying with you, for you, and just sending you all my love, sending you all my compassion, just all of it, because I know how hard it can be. I know how hard it can be to stop doing something you've done, to stop doing something that you are drawn to, literally physically attached to, mentally attached to, maybe even spiritually attached to. And I commend you for making this decision and making that push to want to change, for even getting the information to do it. I think that is just powerful in itself, because so many people don't even take the tools that they have that are at their disposal for free on the internet to change. And the fact that you're doing it is just, it shows that you want to be different. You want to make that change. And I hope you do decide to do that today, not tomorrow, not the next week, but today, because you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait. It doesn't have to be on a Monday or the first of the month. That's all I have for you. I will see you guys next week. I have a lot of, I think, good stuff coming up for February, Love Month. So I'll catch you guys then, with all my love, with all my heart, with all my compassion, with all my strength. Lana.